just tense my abs and then just push the weight or pull the weight or whatever it is. But ab roller is a very, very good exercise. And thing is, you have to a little bit trial and error, do like fail a few times, and then eventually you'll push out 1 rep. Then you do 2 reps. All of a sudden you're doing 5 reps, then 8 reps. Always train your abs like you would train any other muscle. Stop doing circuits and get a 6 pack in 5 minutes kinds of workouts, because those kind of workouts don't really work. It'll give you a good pump in the moment, and you'll basically feel the burn. But when it comes to building muscle, like building ab muscles, ensure you train your muscle, which is your abs, just like anything else. Now, the first thing you need to make sure is you're actually low enough body fat percentage for your abs to be visible. Now, if you're like 20% body fat and you're like, I don't have any abs, then obviously you don't, because abs don't come out until around, let's just say 15% body fat. 15 if your abs are really thick, but for the majority of people, it'll be around 12% body fat. Your abs will be visible. Next thing you need to make sure is you're not retaining a lot of water. Now, brown guys, they retain water in the midsection for multiple reasons, but make sure you're not retaining water in the midsection, because of course they can shroud your abs. Stop having a lot of sodium rich foods, a lot of sugary foods. Make sure you're drinking enough water, so around 3 to 4 liters of water. Make sure you're having fruits and veg, and what all the water the fruits and veg will do is it'll basically push out a lot of water which you're retaining, and because of that fiber and you're consuming, you'll basically get rid of a lot of garbage from the body, let's just say. And after you do that for like a week, your abs will be a lot more visible, even if you're not that lean, to be honest. It's because you have a lot of bloat in the body, and unfortunately for guys, it just like kind of sits on the stomach and it's just a very horrible look. And as I said before, I said in the opening section, I said train your abs in the correct way. And what I mean by train it in the correct way, I'll give you some exercises. Do around 2, and on occasion do about 3 exercises. Now, the exercise I do for abs is the ab roller. Like, you'll see a lot of boxers, a lot of athletes doing it. And it's just a very, very good exercise. It works the abs in a lengthened position. Now, when you have any kind of workout program, you want to train the muscles in a lengthened position. Like, for example, when you do a bicep curl, you'll do an incline bicep curl on the bench where your arm extends fully and then you curl it up. You'll notice those are the best pumps, the best contractions. And the next day as well, your muscles will just feel a lot more bigger. They'll have more glycogen in it because it gives the best contraction. So do around 3, maybe 4 sets of ab roller, around 8 to 10 reps. If you can do more reps, like no more than 15, but 8 to about 15 reps on the ab roller is amazing. Actually, it's I think if you can do around 8 to 12 reps of ab roller, 3-4 sets, then you should have some kind of like, yeah, I'm up there, because ab roller is actually really hard. Like, a large percentage of the population cannot do ab rolling at all. Then the next thing I would do is some kind of lower ab work, so knee tucks or leg raises. I do around 15 reps of them for around 4 sets again. And for most of the times when you do your ab workout, that should be enough. And then on occasion, I would say maybe once a week, do some kind of rotational exercise where you're twisting yourself. And what that will do is it will train the obliques. And the obliques are literally just the cherry on top. The obliques make the abs look a lot better. The obliques, just in terms of, visually, you have your abs, you have your 6-pack, whatever, and then you have them lines on the side, that section on the side. Those are basically your obliques. So doing some kind of twisting movement will definitely be beneficial. And another thing about the ab roller, boys, I just forgot that it does a lot of core work as well. I remember when I started doing ab roller, all my other exercises, like exercises which didn't even directly, relate to ab work, they went up, they became stronger, simply because I had a stronger core. I could basically just tense my abs and then just push the weight or pull the weight or whatever it is. But ab roller is a very, very good exercise. And the thing is, you have to a little bit trial and error, do like fail a few times, and then eventually you'll push out 1 rep. Then you do 2 reps. All of a sudden you're doing 5 reps, then 8 reps. Ab roller is very, very good exercise. So if you're someone who's got low body fat percentage and you've got no abs, make sure you do them few things. Make sure you're training your abs properly. Make sure you're actually around 12 to 15% body fat. And these two things, if you don't have muscle on your stomach, then you won't have abs. It's literally as simple as that. It's like, say you're a bit of a fatty, and then you lean down, but you've not been training your biceps. Of course, when you lean down and you've not been training your biceps, you're not gonna have any muscle on your biceps. So make sure you're training your ab in your what do you call it, your abs in the proper way. And make sure you're not got a lot of water retention, because that could definitely shout it. And yeah, that's it. That's literally it. That's literally why you have no abs, even though you're at a low body fat percentage. And don't fall into this scam of, doing these circuits, doing these 6-minute workouts, these 5-minute workouts. I remember when I was a little kid, I came across this guy called Six Pack Shortcuts. I think everyone at one point before, if you were born before, after like, about 1995 till about 2003 or 4, everyone knows who this guy is, Six Pack Shortcuts, because he just had viral videos. It wouldn't be clickbait, but he would just reel you in. You're like, you know what, I can get a 6-pack in about 5 minutes. And the thing is, when you're doing the workout, you don't believe it, but after the end of the workout, you're like, you know what, my stomach's burning. The ab burn you get is just different compared to anything else that you can get. But don't fall into this. I would say they're good for cardio, they're good for getting your heart rate up, but in terms of actually building the muscle, I don't think they do anything, if anything at all. Make sure you train your abs in the proper way. I just cannot stress that enough. I probably mentioned that about 10 times, but training your abs in the right way is very, very important. Training everything in general is just very, very important. That's actually why I created my school community, the League of Shadows. It's actually called Brown Body Aesthetics at this moment in time. However, if you're someone who doesn't know what they're doing, you're a bit confused, then I would just say check out my school community. In the About page, which you'll click on, it'll tell you exactly what you can get. And the reason I created it is basically I'm looking for, I don't want to say like-minded individuals because that's a bit too niche and too cliche, but I am literally looking for like-minded individuals, basically young guys. Don't even have to be young. I'm looking for guys who are confused. Specifically, they're brown guys with brown guy specific issues, which I've dealt with personally for many, many years, which I know how to navigate exactly what to do. I'm just looking for those kind of guys to kind of help, to kind of coach, simply because I know how hard it can be and I know how limited it is, the information that's out there. Because a lot of, famous influencers, they're either white, they're black, they're Asian. You don't really get any South Asian people who speak on South Asian problems. So yeah, if you're someone who's been struggling with those kind of things, then check out my school community. It'll basically check out the videos I've posted, check out everything else, the leaderboards, because as you progress more in the school, you unlock more things. And yeah, I could just save you so much more time, so much time. And if I was, not even a couple of years ago, let's just say about 5, 6, 7 years ago, there was something like a school community, because it's a fairly new platform, it would have saved me so much more time of trial and error and pain and suffering and confusion. So yeah, if you want to speedrun everything and save yourself about 7 years of your life, then check out my school community. Thank you.